Hello, everyone. This is the Axle Shifter here, and this is going to be the very next episode of the Multiverse War series. And in this episode of this series, this is going to be a battle between Killer Bean and Hank, if you didn't know, is from Madness Combat. These are two assassins that are going to be fighting each other to the death, but only one of them is going to be standing victorious today. So, without further ado, let's talk about their weapons, their skills, their powers and abilities, and their weaknesses. And then we're going to be discussing who would win in a fight. Let's do this now. Jack Bean, more well known by his alias, that being Killer Bean, is the main protagonist of the Killer Bean series. His very first appearance was in the early 90s. He then made his other appearance in Killer Bean 2, before then being known as his most well-known appearance to date, Killer Bean Forever. In this movie, Killer Bean is assigned by the Shadow Beans to pretty much just take down Cappuccino. The evaded tree gets the attention of Detective Cromwell, a bean who's trying to put down Cappuccino and put him in bars. It eventually leads him in his attention towards Killer Bean, and eventually leads him towards the rest of the Shadow Agency. He sends Shadow Jet Bean to kill him, and then the rest is history, of course. And now it's time we talk about Killer Bean's powers, abilities, and weapons. Due to being trained as an assassin by the Shadow Agency, Killer Bean is highly skilled when it comes to killing and in terms of combat in general. He's a very skilled marksman and knife wielder. He is also very skilled in hand-to-hand combat. But of course, his most iconic weapons are his two golden dragon pistols. These pistols are the ones that he pretty much treats as his babies. He carries them around everywhere he goes, and easily uses them when it comes to killing and tactical combat. And as for his rest of his abilities, he has a pretty good attack potency, as he has fought on par with Jet Bean before, who is strong enough to break steel handcuffs easily. He was also strong enough to rip off the door with his hinges and bend steel bars with his kicks, so Jack should very easily scale the Jet here. And as for his speed, well, it's not exactly very impressive when it comes to travel, as it only reaches the level of athletic human level, but he does have supersonic reaction speed, as he is fast enough to dodge bullets, dodge sniper rifles, and even keep up and dodge magnum rounds. He was even fast enough to dodge a rocket from a rocket launcher by another Bean from the Shadow Agency. So yeah, basically Killer Bean is pretty fast when it comes to combat reaction speed, but his durability is very low, as it only ranks from wall level, as he did take numerous hits from Jet Bean, but he did take a hit from a motorcycle exploding onto him, but it did temporarily knock him out. And as is for his intelligence, he is highly intelligent, as he has trained for many years to become the legendary assassin and fighter, as we all know today, as the Killer Bean. But as really for his weaknesses, however, I mean, he could kind of be outsmarted and eventually be outskilled by someone else. I mean, Jet Bean did almost kill him at the end of Forever there. And yeah, and overall, he can be a bit more cocky at times, since he is a highly trained assassin, so yeah. But overall though, Killer Bean is a highly skilled fighter, and he also has plenty of other weapons as well, like the pistols, and he also has many more weapons in the Killer Bean Forever game. Like, he even has his very own rockets of his own. He also has the fire bullets, the energy bullets, the plasma bullets, and many more, including grenades, and he even has a flamethrower on his side. Hank J. Wimbledon is the main protagonist of the Madness Combat series, and he has played a capital role in almost every single episode. And the main series of the episode focus him on pretty much just being the, a long figure who first departs to kill the sheriff for no particular reason, and then goes on a killing spree and kills hundreds in the pursuit of his goals. But now let's discuss his powers, abilities, and his weapons and weaknesses now. As for his powers and abilities, he is very similar to Jack Bean when it comes to combat and weapon mastery. He is also a master of even stealth mastery. He is also practically immortal, and whenever he is killed, he is revived by the higher powers, fate powers, as long as his fight is entertainment to them. And in terms of fear manipulation, his fear does not motivate to any other pain, So yeah, he can basically make others fear him by manipulating them, essentially. His attack potency is actually very large. It can scale to either building level or large building level, as he actually is comparable to Jesus himself, who can effortlessly rip guards to shreds, and he even sawed through Man Agent Charger's head with a chainsaw, so he could scale to God that way. He also has superhuman speed, and he can jump really fast. He can also have supersonic reactor speeds, and he can easily kill grunts who can deflect bullets with swords, and even deflected bullets at close range. He also has durability, which is at large building level, actually, as he can trade blows with Tricky the Clown and Jesus himself, who are capable of casually taking a roof off a building. He also has extremely high stamina, as he can easily fight off large groups of enemies for long periods of time without even getting tired or even taking brief rests. And also has some pretty good range attacks into his guns and weapons. And as for intelligence, Hank is an incredibly skilled fighter who is extremely proficient in using all types of weapons and different forms of fighting skills, and can easily stomp his enemies with relative ease. But as for his weakness, however, he seems to hesitate on finishing off his enemies, as he's often pretty overconfident and cocky, like Killer Bean, and he also likes to deflect gunshots of a zombified agent instead of just killing him in MC4. He also comes to be heavily less hesitant on MC5 onwards. Also, Hank's immortality is exactly the most reliable, as sometimes even higher powers don't restrict him at all, and it takes time regardless. And now it's time I talk about who would win this battle. Now, in terms of this fight, it is actually very close. It is one of the closest Multiverse Wars fights to date, actually. It can really go either way, really, depending on the situation. But in the end, I would say that the victor should be Hank. Now, don't get me wrong though, Killer Bean is very skilled in his own right, and he has killed plenty of other skilled fighters in the Killer Bean universe, like Jet Bean for example, and even Vacant. But in the end though, Hank is just shown to have a lot more abilities to his arsenal. And while sure, Killer Bean is pretty skilled when it comes to weapons and hand-to-hand combat, he just couldn't get past Hank's other abilities. He even has metal manipulation, for example, as he can create iron spikes with his own electricity. He even has the ability to use telekinesis and even fly temporarily. He also has the power thanks to being Jesus on his side as well, as he can temporarily resurrect him. He also has immortality on his side, while Killer Bean doesn't. And yeah, Killer Bean also has advantages as well, like his missiles, his grenades, and the fact that I would honestly say he's kind of more skilled thanks to him killing Jet Bean. But still, in the end, I would say that the winner of this battle should be Hank from Madness Combat. But still, what do you think though? Who do you think should win? But basically, that's my opinion of who should win. And that's it, honestly, so see you later, everyone. See you in the next video, the next Multiverse Wars episode, and have a good day and stuff, and yeah, see you later, goodbye.